Assalamu alaikum, Gambia, friends of the Gambia. I would say good afternoon to you all. Some I would say good evening, and while others I would say good night and good morning. Today is March 28th, 2024. In America here, the time is 12:26 p.m. on this Wednesday afternoon. And I believe in the Gambia it's going to be 7:26 p.m. on this Wednesday evening. Today I would like to come here and give my guidance or advice to the newly appointed Inspector General of Police, which is Seedy Moctar Touray, my brother, and also the new Director General of Gambia Immigration Department, which is by Ebrima Mboob. This conversation is going to be very crucial today, as it would evolve in the theme of giving an honest opinion and advice to brothers that I have served in the Gambia Immigration Department side by side with. As for Seedy Moctar Touray, I've worked with him at Gambia Immigration Department way back in the days when he was working at the passport office and as well as refugee office, and even when he got moved to some other internal postings within the country. For Mr. Ebrima Mboob, had worked with him extensively at the administration of the Gambia Immigration Department, where he seems to be a very prolific, dynamic young officer, and somebody who is well-oriented and knows what he does best. And that makes this conversation very, very important as far as I'm concerned, because these gentlemen are not only friends to me, but they are brothers. They are my brothers. They are my co-partners in the job that they do or that we have all done together. And any conversation I'm going to be saying here is from the bottom of my heart, and I mean no harm. But then when a responsibility is given to you, much is expected from you. And I do hope this gentleman will live up to expectation, because of not only that it's all geared towards youth empowerment. All of these gentlemen are young folks within the country. Seedy Moctar Touray is could be within his 50s, and by Ebrima Mboob, I could say from 30 to 40 something in his 40s. So therefore, this gentleman would also represent the youths of the Gambia. As a result, they would try to do their best in their capacities as Director General of Gambia Immigration Department and as well as the Inspector General of Police. Even though some might say, thank you, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. Good morning to you. Or I would say, I don't know what time you are in, but it's a little bit afternoon here. So, like I was saying, that would yield more dividend to these young, prolific individuals who are serving in the capacity of the Gambia Immigration Department and the Gambia Police Force. Like I said, the conversation is going to be very honest, very genuine, simply because I had worked with these two individuals. Thank you, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. I had worked with them and I know them very, very well, and then I do hope they would prove everybody wrong in the Gambia and try to deliver to the fullest. Today, my topic of discussion would go majorly trying to advise all of these gentlemen. As in the case of Mboob, the Gambia Immigration Department has been an institution that has been constituted in that country to oversee the incoming and outflow of people within and outside the country, and they are responsible for so many different job responsibilities in the country, issuing of passport, ID card, visas, permits, and the list goes on and on and on and on. As such, like I always do, when a new Director General of Gambia Immigration Department is appointed, I write to them personally and advise them of things that are expected of them, and to know that those institutions are not their family enterprise. Because bearing in mind there are many Director General of Gambia Immigration Department that has come and go, and yet still the institution will remain. For the Gambia Immigration Department, since the time of Fabure and all the way to Njai, you come to Mboob Senior, you come to Mboob Junior, you come to Sako Drame, and you come to Buba Sanyang Zil, you come to Seedy Touray, and now by Ebrima Mboob. That is all the more reason most of these people who were Director General of that institution, I will write to them personally and advise them with my own little expertise, trying to make them realize that they are, after all, no special individual, but then they are just ordinary people like us. But the reason why they have been selected from the lot means that they had a lot of expectations on them to serve the Gambia as a country and to deliver to the people of the Gambia in the service delivery that is much needed. So therefore, I continue on the same trend today, and I would call on you by Ebrima Mboob. It's me, your friend, and Sir 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏, in the days when we work at administration of the Gambia Immigration Department. You're more like me. You are policy-driven, you are well-oriented, very much focused, and you are very unbiased when it comes to the Civil Service Code of Conduct, Ethics, and the General Order. Therefore, anything less than that would mean doing wrong against nature. And as a friend and as a brother who has worked entirely in that department and making a sustainable change, improvement, efficiency, service delivery, and also productivity in that institution, I do hope you will continue to do what is expected of you at the Gambia Immigration Department. By and large, I keep criticizing Mr. Adama Barrow, but then I know the appointment of by Ebrima Mboob is one of the best appointments that the president has ever made in his the entire 8 years of presidency in the country. Make no mistake, we're not gonna be here to always try to criticize, but then when the president does something good, we will come and say that say that is what is needed. Because we do not need putting people, the square pegs in a round hole in a country that would lead us to a country that has no direction, no trajectory for development and sustainable improvement for the well-being of the Gambia and the Gambian people. So therefore, we as a people in the country of the Gambia, I applaud you on your elevation to the position of the new Director General of Gambia Immigration Department. But by no means possible that is an institution that would not remain as Mboob Kunda. It's not going to be Sise Kunda, Njai Kunda, no Sonko Kunda, or Touray Kunda. Like I always keep saying, these institutions remain as long as the Gambia evolves and as long as the world stays to be how it is. As far as we are concerned, we know leaders come and go, institutions would remain. As such, Mr. Ebrima Mboob, focus your eye on the prize. Keep your head above water by working very, very extra hard to make sure that where Seedy Touray has left the Gambia Immigration Department, you lift it from there. You also work behind the scene tirelessly to make sure that the efficiency, good conduct, and the service delivery of the Gambian people is ensured in that country. Make no mistake, our country needs to be protected. Regardless of who we are and where we come from, we do not have anything more than our country called the Gambia. The Gambia surpasses everything as far as we are concerned. And you, as the young Director General of Gambia Immigration Department, pretty much the youngest Director General of Gambia Immigration Department. Even 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒔 and Jobate and others, I forgot to mention their names. Ebrima Mboob is the youngest among all of them. And Ebrima Mboob has worked entirely, extensively at the UN missions. And working side by side with him, I knew very well what is possible, capable of doing in reforming that institution called the Gambia Immigration Department. Mboob would do a great job, and like I said, we still will be watching closely what they do. When they do good, we will applaud them, we will guide them, we will also try to tell them what is needed for the greater good of the Gambian people. Documentations need to be protected as much as all our documents in the country, because that is what makes us, we the Gambian people, to be proud and cherish our country. As such, service delivery and the code of conduct for officers in Gambia Immigration Department will no more be compromised as far as Mboob is concerned, because Mboob is a disciplinarian. Mboob is somebody who doesn't care about family ties or relationship, and Mboob would be somebody who would just be very tactful, mindful, coherent, and very smart, intelligent, and way too qualified for that position. And like I said, as far as nepotism and cronyism is concerned, I do hope, unless he change, but Mboob is somebody who will not thrive on anything less than meritocracy. To each according to your ability, and to each according to what you can produce and deliver to the people of the Gambia Immigration Department and the citizenry. That is what Mr. Mboob has always stood for, and he will continue to thrive on. So, but like I said, positions are positions. Sometimes people may change, but from the look of things, Mansakunda is now watching Ebrima Sanyang. We did Gambia Immigration Department training 2004. Me and him, we've worked together at the Gambia Immigration Department. So we know who we are talking about. People could change, but unless and until they change, for now, Mboob is the right person in the right place for that institution to try to produce more dividend and result to the people of the Gambia. But again, we tell Mboob, like I always keep saying, it's an institution. It's not that one has been promoted to the rank of a Director General makes you the best out of the rest, meaning they have expected a lot from you. And you as an individual would have to deliver to the people of the Gambia. No amount of government interference can make Mboob to tick or bow down. I know him. Because by and large, he would be the first person to resign from the Gambia Immigration Department post as the Director General of that institution if the government wants to interfere too much in the area of giving documents to non-Gambians. Gambia, Mboob would ensure that to resign than to sell the soul and heart of that country. Because I know Mboob very, very well. Most people may think he might be so soft or calm. No, he has principles, he has values, etiquettes, and also respect the Civil Service Code of Conduct. When it comes to service delivery of disciplining the officer's corps who has violated the Immigration Act, immigration rule, would no means mince his word. He would just go to the books as far as what the law says when it comes to discipline if you go in contravention with the Gambia Civil Service Code of Conduct and the General Order. So, unless I would be proven wrong, but I would, for now, give credits where it is due to say that congratulations, Mr. Ebrima Mboob, for your elevation to the position of Director General of Gambia Immigration Department. Like I keep saying, and I'll continue to reiterate, that it's not going to be Mboob Kunda. Imagine it's a self-explanatory job. At the end of the day, before you, it was Seedy Touray before his elevation to the new IGP position. Before Seedy Touray, it was Zil, Buba Sanyang. Before Buba Sanyang, it was 𝒖𝒊𝒏. Before 𝒖𝒊𝒏, it was Mboob. It was Mboob Jr. Before Mboob Jr., it was Musa Mboob. Before Musa Mboob, it was another person, Njai, Jobate, Fabure, and the list goes on and on and on and on. This is why today, the baton of leadership is given to you. You have a lot of responsibility to do in your institution as the youngest Director General of Gambia Immigration Department. And being the youngest, meaning a lot is expected from you because we expect you to correlate and connect to the people of the Gambia and deliver what is most needed in that department. By virtue of that, do not turn the institution as Mboob Kunda. Never turn it into as sections of groups here and there. Treat all your officers as individuals who are a team members or players in national development. Provide service delivery to the population of the Gambian people who has sent you to be their Director General. If the officers' corps misbehave, punishment is what is expected, or reprimand would be suitable where things are faulty. As such, in the meantime, I wouldn't say much, but I say my eye would be on the prize, and that prize would be the Gambia Immigration Department. That would be laser focused to see everything that is happening in that institution to make sure that everybody is doing what is expected in that place. Other than that, when we see something wrong, that are fundamentally wrong in that place, we will criticize constructively to make sure that we add value to that institution that we all so dearly cherish. On that note, Mr. Ebrima Mboob, congratulations and welcome to the hot seat. Moving from Mboob, I would like to share my idea, my unwavering advice, guidance, and counseling to my brother Seedy Moctar Touray, whom, like I said, I had worked with him closely, side by side, and he's a very young officer, very well laser focused, dynamic, prolific, and an individual who is very exuberant in doing his job the way it needs to be done. And I do hope that this new position that you have come to handle in the Gambia Immigration Department, you will continue to do the good job that you have done at the Gambia Immigration Department. Gambia Immigration Department would be a replica of the Gambia Police Force with a difference of job responsibilities, and by nature, you had done extensively police work in Nigeria, where you did paramilitary job trainings and work with international director generals of so many institutions in Nigeria, and so many other UN missions that you have encountered, and you went to those places to have expertise, ideas, workshop, and how a functioning country could work. As such, you have done extensive UN missions in so many other countries, including Liberia, UNIMIL, and so many others. You were able to reform the Liberian Immigration Department, and that is all the more reason until when you were called upon to come and serve as the Director General of Gambia Immigration Department. But today, you have been elevated to become the new Inspector General of Police at a time when the Gambian people have lost so much hope in the police sector and the policing system that our country has been seeing for the past 7-8 years now. So, Mr. Touray, a lot is on your table, but we would try to welcome and congratulate you to your elevation to this very much highest job of the country. And it's not going to be easy. Nothing comes easy, but with your youthfulness, your smartness, your energy, your patience and perseverance, maybe you would add value to the Gambia Police Force, because the citizens of the Gambia have lost so much hope in that institution. And make no mistake, that institution has been so corrupt to the core, that we expect you, Seedy Moctar Touray, would bring sanity to that institution. They do not have to like you. They just need to work with you. And if they don't want to work with you, they could go home and go on farming or go do something else that would add value to their life. As institution and as a people, we would not take it easy when it comes to the development of our country, our institutions, to make them viable, independent, and to make it so functional in society. So people of an institution have to be a teamwork, team players, dependable, reliable, and also coherent and laser focused on the responsibilities of our individual institutions that we have in our country. Make no mistake, left to me, because we know there has been so many talk behind the scene that Mr. Seedy Touray is an outsider from the Gambia Police Force. Yes, he is an outsider from the Gambia Police Force. The mere fact that they had brought somebody outside within the realms and cadre of the Gambia Police Force makes it more prudent to try to reduce the amount of corruption in that institution in the Gambia. Because the Gambia Police Force has been so toxic in the sense that rules are circumvented by people who do their own things and without respecting rule of law and value system and the dignity of a Gambian person. The respect that is supposed to be given to the Gambian is been negated or it's been taken away from them. We hope Seedy Moctar Touray would look closely into the way and manner this police operations work in the Gambia, and to make sure that all rules are followed in the country, regardless of whether you are a rich man's son or a poor person. After all, we are all Gambian. That's why we have the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. So, Mr. Seedy Moctar Touray, like I said, the seat, you have occupied the hottest seat of the country. That makes me more concerned why they had even put you in there in the first place, because we do not want to lose you, in the sense that this is a position so hot that at the end of the day, if people miss their step, they could step aside and somebody comes in. But I know with your experience in the international scene, well, in the missions, where you work side by side with Director Generals, Inspector Generals of Police, and so many other high-profile leaders of the world, I hope you would bring sanity and you will bring a corrupt-free Gambia police force where people would do their work, and you as well need to follow the rule, because as a role model or to be exemplary, you have to take the lead. You have to practice what you preach to the Gambian people to make sure that they would follow you. Like I said, you will be the leader of that institution today. And that institution is not Adama Barrow's, your in-law. Merely that you become an in-law, to me, I would have given you a different position than the Inspector General of Police. Because people may say that there would be conflict of interest. In a proper functioning organizational structure, yes, that might happen. But could I indulge you, Mr. Seedy Touray, to prove us wrong, that regardless of Mr. Adama Barrow is your in-law, you will serve the Gambian people regardless of who they are. When things come to your table, you will not look at them because your in-law is Mr. Adama Barrow. You will look at things based on individual cases and case-by-case basis to execute them, to try to prosecute them where those are needed. At the end of the day, that will add value to the institution of the Gambia Police Force. I have no doubt in my mind that you will thrive well in that institution called the Gambia Police Force. But again, you have to prove all the Gambian people wrong to make sure that you do right by the people. First thing first, you have to be the righteous person that you continue to be. You have to be laser focused where the problems are as of now today in the Gambia. Because today in the Gambia, the police force, as corrupt as it is, we need safety in the Gambia. The Gambia is not safe. And some police officers would come out and say that the Gambia, there is no security problem. Every day people are dying. So we are unsafe in the Gambia. Where is that unsafety coming? We want you to solve that right away, Mr. Seedy Touray. We want you to ensure that our traffic violations, here and there, police taking bribes from people. I know you cannot do all of them overnight, but there should be punishment to all of this that are happening. When somebody takes bribe from a police officer, we expect them to be punished and reprimanded for that. We want a police force that is free from corruption. And also, Mr. Seedy Touray, there are so many cases that are backlash in the Gambia. There are piles and piles and piles of cases in the Gambia. We want you to go and probe into them, release them, let them be heard by the judges, magistrate, and the police can probe into them. Let those cases go. I know some cases would be politically motivated, but hey, that's why you got put in this position, to make sure that you work for the greater good of the Gambian people by not watching at anybody, even if that law would affect you as an individual, Seedy Touray. So we expect a lot from you by going to change everything in that police force. Look, some of the police documents, the general orders, the police act and stuff, they are all outdated. Assign people to go after them and put them online to try to correct them. Those things have been there since the police force has been formed in the Gambia. It is a shame to have a reputable institution like the Gambia Police Force. We have documents that are, spelling errors here and there. We expect that institutions have the best and the brightest of all people. We want you to look and probe into so many different things in the country to make sure that police regain their respect from the population of the Gambians. We want you to make sure that the paramilitary officer, the abuse and the continuous beating of people here and there to be ceased. And anybody found wanting or beating people would be dealt with accordingly. Do not hide behind bars, or do not be undercover to say that, oh, this person did wrong. If I come to the media, they would think that, oh, the police force did. That will even give you more fame and promotions. That will give you more, more liking than anyone else. When things get wrong, come to the limelight through your PRO office or yourself, come out and set the record straight. Do not fear the media. In as long as you're doing the right thing, you don't have to fear. And in as long as things that are going on, you do not have to fear whether they will offend the government of the day. Remember, you are an IGP, Inspector General of Police. You're supposed to be neutral in the country. That's why today I want to seize this opportunity to come and enlighten and add value to your education of your policing, what you have got. But I'll still continue to advise you what is expected of you as a young Inspector General of Police in the country. Make no mistake. We want sanity in the country. We want rule of law. We want equitable and equity of justice dispensation in the country. We do not want a Gambia where the police will side with the ruling government. And this is what Mr. Abdoulaye Sanyang has been doing for far too long in our country. Mr. IGP Seedy Touray, being a brother of yours, you know me too well that I do not mince to say the truth, because I say whatever most people would not say. Because the truth shall make you free at all times. So today, the procurement issues that are going on in our country has been hijacked by that former IGP Abdoulaye Sanyang. We expect you not to do the same thing. Everybody has to go through the right channel. And the right channel, that's why we have the procurement office there. We have the Pura office. That is why there is always going to be a conflict of interest if law enforcement officers have their own side businesses that they want certain contracts to go into. That's a conflict of interest. That is why prolific and good organizational structure does not promote those kind of things, because you have to declare what kind of business you have. But you, if you are an IGP, you have a business, you don't want to go through the Pura process and the procurement issue, then you're going to do everything through your side business you want, because you want some of the money to go there. That's an abuse of office. We do not want you to make the mistake of what the mistake that Abdoulaye Sanyang has done in that place. Abdoulaye Sanyang, as the IGP, has turned that place into a political bantaba. And we do not want you, Seedy Touray, to turn that institution into a political bantaba. Regardless of many Gambians have made up their mind that, oh, Seedy Touray, you are an in-law to your president, the president, so therefore you cannot go against him. That's what people have thought. Like I said, if I were the president, I would not do that appointment to bring you as the IGP, because this is what the people will say, because it is going to be like that. But we want you to prove us wrong. We want you to prove the Gambians wrong, to say, if my in-law doesn't do the right thing, I will rule in favor of him. Is that going to make him take the wife from you? Unless if your wife doesn't love you too much, then your in-law can take her from you. But if she loves you too much, but just because you establish the truth, they want to break your marriage, it won't happen. And my brother, you know sincerely I'm speaking from my heart. I speak what most people do not say in the open. But you as an individual, we want you to bring sanity into the institution. We know politics is so polarized in that country. That has made the Gambia police force to go into the gutters because people lack respect for them simply by nature with the way and manner they deal with things in our country. But in my mind, who has worked with you for the past several years at the Gambia Immigration Department, I know you can do this job. You have the charisma, you have the technical know-how, you have the reputation, you have the exuberance and the energy to go and bring sanity in there. Like I said, all those corrupt police officers who are there, they better continue to work with you or pack their baggages and back and go home. Because the Gambia police force is not a Fadera Kunda, no Touray Kunda, or Mane Kunda, or Sise Kunda. The Gambia police force is a very reputable institution. These Kundas need to cease. Everybody have a different job responsibility in the Gambia police force. If you are under fraud, you do that. If you are under licensing, you should execute your job with due diligence, because in America here, in as long as you are paid by the state, you do not take any other pay or bribe from people. We can have this in the Gambia, what? We can have this in the Gambia. So, my brother Seedy Touray, all those people who knew me, they know I am very, very close to Seedy Touray. Simply by nature, we were buddies. We work together at Gambia Immigration Department. And your elevation, if there is one person that would be happy for you, anything and any successes in this life would be me. But like I said, if I were the president of the Gambia and you marry my daughter or sister, I wouldn't make you the appointment to put you into the Inspector General of Police. Rather, I would have preferred leave you at Gambia Immigration Department, or I would take you overseas at international appointment here and there to avoid all the brouhahas, all the complaints that people are saying. And by nature, if people say, they should not be blamed at it, because this is the normal structural functioning of any organization that would thrive well in the world. So people who are saying it, they have every right and respect to say it, because it is a very bizarre thing that happens, that is happening. And if it happens, they cannot stop it, but they are foreseeing that a conflict of interest might come. This is why I'm telling you that I hope you prove every Gambian wrong and make sure that the Gambia is so polarized. The Gambia is very, very much divided today than it has ever been since the coming of Mr. Adama Barrow to power. So we want you to unify the Gambia police force. Unify the Gambia police force by connecting them back with the community and strengthen community policing that we have in our country. We want the patrol and we want the operations of the police force to be more intensified today, so that the people who are in Kersering, who are in Senegambia, who are in Farato, and who are in Wellingar, all over the country can be safe and they can have trust in the police force. Because today, make no mistake, people go to bed fearing that they might not even wake up. There are so much killings in the Gambia. There are so many things that are happening in the Gambia that are so very foreign in our country, Mr. Seedy Touray. And we know it's not going to be easy. But the Gambia, we are very much accepting people. Gambians are very, very easy to convince. So for the police force to gain the trust back from the people would take neutrality, justice, lack of biasness, commitment, transparency, and truthfulness. Other than this, the people have made up their mind against the police force because they think that they are more polarized today than ever before. They are more of lawlessness people than they have ever been before. Even though there are many good people in the police, I have connections all over the police. When we say the police is so toxic, we do not mean all of them. There are so many very good ones who are very much educated. They would not even want to touch a flies, less trying to do untold sufferings on Gambian people. This continuous and perpetual beating of Gambians needs to stop. Under Seedy Touray, the new Director General, that's why we expect a lot. So many changes need to happen. You can do changes even though those changes are not popular. But if they are the right thing to do, come on, go in for them. If they are the right thing to do, go in for the changes. Don't look at how unpopular those decisions might be. But if they are within the book, within the Gambia Civil Service Code of Conduct, the Police Act, but the Police the Police Act and they are marked by the Constitution of the country, do it. Do not see that, okay, these things are happening here and there. Let us be fair and neutral. That's the work of the police force. Although you may be very close to the incumbent, which is the executive, but that should not compromise your neutrality and your fairness within the whole country. Because you know what? Make no mistake, no one single person stays under the position forever. If the executive is not doing the right thing, you as a police officer need to do your job with due diligence and make sure that sanity prevails. That is the rule of law. And remember, if I do not forget, the primary responsibility of a police officer is to prevent, protect crime before they even happen, and try to protect life and property as well. So as the Inspector General of Police, you also have a different job responsibility, which means conducting independent and objective audits and investigation relating to programs and operations of the government or private sector. And remember, make no mistake, you do some of these audits and investigations, you find damning evidence that would go against the government. As a very honest Inspector General of Police, what we expect from you is to indict those people, even if that person is the President of the Republic of the Gambia, your in-law, Mr. Adama Barrow. We expect nothing less. That is how the Gambia police force will be put on a very good, proper footing. And likewise, if you cannot leave the law for your in-law, then all the other people will know that, oh, this person is mean business. That is how Gambia would evolve outside of this. Do not care anything, Mr. Seedy Touray. Follow the law to the letter, even if it means Mr. Adama Barrow to fire you from this position. And in fact, like I said, that is what I fear so much about this new promotion. Because you are too young, you are ambitious, you are hardworking, you know what you are doing. And as a result, if they cannot make you do it, the only thing is to fire you. And if they fire you, the whole Gambia will clap for you. You go back and serve in the UN mission that you have done. Those people need you there more. But in the meantime, you are in the country. Things that you are doing outside, we want you to do that in the country to improve the lives and liberties of the Gambian people. Where in the Gambia, everybody would be treated as the same. Another responsibility that you have as the Inspector General of Police is promoting economy, the efficiency and effectiveness in programs and operations. So many things are on your table that you need to be doing. Police operations need to be serialized to make sure that what they used to do before and now what had worked before, you adopt them. Those things that were not working, you just replace them with better laws or better operational standard, so that the people of the Gambia can become safe. Because in these past 8 years of Mr. Adama Barrow, a lot had happened. People have been killed on an everyday broad daylight. Hardly a month passes by you do not hear that somebody has been killed here and there. The proliferation of drugs into our country, I'll come to that. We want you to rekindle all of these pending cases that have been there, the backlog of cases that are in Gambia immigration, the Gambia police force. Release all of them. Let the public know the status of all of these things that are going on. You know, do not be clouded by judgment to see that, oh yes, we understand Mr. Adama Barrow is your in-law, but there is time to become an in-law family relationship, and there is time for business, working for the Gambian people. Even, like I said, if things that you would say would go against those people, it's the right thing to do. Say them to the Gambian people. That will restore more trust and respect and confidence in the Gambia police force because of the new leadership that they have. But is this thing going to be easy? Probably not. Isn't it the right thing to do? Hell yeah, it is. So if it is the right thing to do, you just have to do what is just and right for the people of the Gambia, including yourself. Because you are a microcosm of that country, where you have all your wives in there and your kids, your family and all that. If the Gambia would capsize, we all doomed today. So, again, among your responsibility as the Inspector General of Police, preventing and detecting fraud, waste, abuse, embezzlement, management, mismanagement, and corruption in the country. You have a lot of responsibility, Mr. Inspector General of Police, my brother, Seedy Touray. So imagine all these embezzlement cases have gone by unnoticed. The President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, has no political will, no backbone, no muscle to go after them simply because they are supporting him. Here you have, we the people of the Gambia, Mr. Seedy Touray, we are saying, go after the Jeng and the Jonga family who has embezzled billions and millions within become an area council. And yet still the government thinks business goes as usual. You do not have to wait on the executive to tell you, the Inspector General of Police, to go and do something. Because your laws, your work, your job responsibilities are very clear in the book. That's why when they hire you, they swore you to take office. You said you will perform your duties above and beyond, without fear or favor, ill will, affection. So God help your soul. This is what you said. In that case, you do not have to sit down and wait Mr. Adama Barrow to have to tell you, hey, Mbitang, go and do this thing and that and that. No, your job responsibilities are very well defined. It would be colossal inefficiency for people who are in positions of leadership to wait and sit by for the executive to tell them go do this thing, especially the Inspector General of Police. In fact, you are the most powerful person in the country. You can arrest the president of the country if he mismanages, if he abuses office, if he does corruption. You can send your team for him to be chained and put on the house arrest for them to probe into the matter to make sure that unless otherwise he is proven innocent. So Mr. Seedy Touray, you are very important in the country today. Let your family relationship not cloud your judgment or your job responsibility. to derail the development of the Gambia police force. You have to be a neutral, independent force in the country. And among your job responsibilities, again, you are supposed to be recommending actions to address systematic weakness and improve agency performance. Like what is happening in the Gambia police force. It is so messed up. It is so infested with corruption and corrupt practices, malpractices. It is maggoted. You know? So we need that change. Like I said, they do not have to like you. They have to tolerate you, accept you, work with you. Other than that, they can go home and look for another job. But again, in order, if the vast majority of them are not liking you, the work would become even much harder on you. This is all the more reason, my brother, you need to work a little bit extra harder. Tell them that you are not there for rivalry. You want to unite the Gambia police force. You want to make it to be a Gambia police force of international recognition where impunity, favoritism, this cronyism and kundas will cease to exist in that institution. Make no mistake, Mr. Seedy Touray, if you do that, Gambia would tell your name for generations to come. And you know what? It's doable. It's only by doing true to yourself and be very honest and hardworking and love of country. Because if we all love our country, we would not do things that we are doing on a daily basis just to appease one single person. After all, that is not only the limited punishment, but by the time you meet your creator, it's even bigger. And also, as an Inspector General of Police, you're supposed to be recommending changes needed in relevant state laws here and there. Some laws that are not suitable can be also recommended for changes, and new ideas would come in. But as an Inspector General of Police, how do you do your findings and report of cases? Because there are so many cases that come to the Gambia. The 2 tons of drug, 3 tons of drug, all these infestations of drugs are coming. Gambians have not heard anything about the results of that. It could be at court. We all know basic procedure of court cases. We do not want to talk about the nitty-gritties and the core concept of it. But Gambian people would like to know who are linked to these drug cases, and also what is the level of investigation into all of these drug cases. Imagine, remember my brother, Seedy, or with the advent of all these drug cases is when we started having unlimited problems in the Gambia, security problems in the Gambia, where people are dying like flies on a daily basis in our country. That's a cause for concern. So the Gambia is what matters most. Individuality does not matter, where people would be linked to these drug cases. If that person who is linked to the drug cases happens to be your father should be roasted like a chicken. That is when developed countries are able to bring sanity to their institutions. But corruptions, corrupt practices, malpractices here and there, police officers would drill cases and cases to frustrate people. They are telling you, some of them who feel shy to tell you, bribe me, give me so much money that I would let this case go. They would drag your case forever so that you can become frustrated. We do not want that under Seedy Touray. We don't want the same status quo thing to happen. You are there as an element of change. We want you to change the Gambia Police Force. But the Gambia Police Force will not change if you yourself, Seedy Touray, would not change. Change is an agent. And therefore, when that change would come, the people have to change and they can impact change in a country. So, talking about all these crimes in our country and drugs proliferation in our country. So there can be Inspector General's reports. The Inspector General, they report they are finding true detailed reports that outline their investigations, audits, and evaluations. And this report, they take so many format, types, and shape and form. Objective summary, a concise overview of the investigation or audit, including the purpose, scopes, and key findings. Gambia Police Force have done so many investigations, and they have found some findings and did it, and nothing comes out of it. The National Assembly of the Gambia told Abdoulaye Sanyan to go after the people who has embezzled billions in the country. And they even give timeline, yet still nothing has happened. Mr. Seedy Touray, you can change that. The Gambia has lost so much revenue. All of these files are there because some of those people need to account and pay that money back. We need to name and shame them. If they don't have the money, we have to sell their story buildings in order to recover those monies. So that your in-law, Mr. Adama Barrow, can embark on so many development projects and make good roads for us. So that Mr. Adama Barrow can make things in our hospital that needed pharmaceutical equipment and medicines. We want you to go after the recommendation of the National Assembly to probe into those people who had embezzled those millions. It cannot go unnoticed like that. That is why, you see, since 1965, the Gambia tried to practice the same old thing. No wonder we are in a dark hole where there wouldn't be no development, no advancement. It's just the same old Gambia. It's only human development in the Gambia. Because we are not true to ourselves. We do not practice what we preach. We have to be genuine people to make sure that whatever we want to do, we take the lead and be charismatic and exemplary. So in finding into cases, methodology, you have to explain. Explanation of the method used, the data collected and analysis performed during the investigation. Findings, that's where comes a detailed information about any issue, deficiencies or violations discovered. So many things have been violated. But the police force would sit by and not to probe into things unless the number one Marina Parade call that, hey, Mbitang, go and probe into this thing you go. No, that would be inefficiency. We want you to be very proactive. Go and probe into issues. When you hear corruption anywhere, go after them without even being told or dictated by the executive or somebody higher. That is true efficiency. People will respect you. People would honor you. They will cherish you. They will know that, oh my God, okay. Then, if you continue to go after these big civil servants one after the other, corruption will be minimized, and at the end of the day, before you complete your term in that office, we have a corrupt-free Gambia Police Force, a corrupt-free society, and a corrupt-free institution. Because anytime when there is a violation, we have to go back to the books. The Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, number one, the General Order, the Civil Service Code of Conduct, and the Police Rule and Act. These are all documents that are there to protect every institution. So if somebody does a violation, family ties is cut. We look at the law, we look at the book. If the book says this is the punishment, that punishment needs to go, even if that person is your father. It is as simple as that. So when those findings are done, recommendations, specific action or changes needed to be addressed, address the identified problem. So we need to be very proactive. management response, input from agency or organization being investigated, including their agreement or disagreement with the finding and proposed solution. We do not expect to see an Inspector General of Police where his men would go and violate people outside, and everybody knows that this is a violation, yet still they cannot admit that violation. What is right is for you to come over to the media and admit the fact there that so-so officers were involved in such a very dubious malpractice and activity. We are looking into the matter and we will reprimand them, prosecute them, and we will send them to jail. And if that happens, our public relations office will come back here and notify the general population about what we did. There, people would not only be curious, but now it means that you are directly working with the people of the Gambia. Curiosity would no longer be with them. You will see that little by little, you will end up gaining trust of the Gambian population. And also follow-ups, updates on whether the recommendations were implemented and their impact. Just like I said, if you cannot do all of these things, then that is a problem. Because the Gambian people would be very hungry of information when they are not getting the right information or source. Coming to the limelight or media doesn't make you any weaker or to provoke your institution or department. It's to even make them better and likable. So these reports are submitted to relevant authorities such as, in the case of America, they would send it to Congress. In the case of the Gambia, they can send it to the National Assembly, agency head, or our public, depending on the jurisdiction and purpose of the investigation. So, and those were investigations done sent to the National Assembly. National Assembly said recommendation is go after them. That was a unanimous agreement. It was not even partisan. Everybody said this is what we want to happen. That all these billions and billions of money need to be recovered. They say police force, go after them. But yet still, no police force is doing their job. Because they think if they go after them, they are offending somebody. That is weak leadership. That cannot bring anti-corruption in the country. Anti-corruption will come when you are probing into people and try to tell them what they should not do and try to set example on them so that others would not follow the same trend. As an Inspector General's report, their findings through official channels within their respective organization. These channels typically include written reports which detail the result of their audits, investigation, and evaluations. These reports are submitted to relevant agency heads. Like I said, in the Gambia, it would be National Assembly and other appropriate authorities. The report would outline the finding recommendations and any necessary corrective actions. Additionally, Inspector General may also provide testimony during National Assembly hearings or other forums to communicate their findings and answer questions. The goal is to ensure transparency, accountability, and improvement in government operations. All of this, by and large, are things that could happen. There are so many pending cases. Go after them. Gambia need all of this money that have been embezzled. Do not see that your friend has been touched or would be implicated in as long as their name has been mentioned, go after them. That would make you to be doing right by the Gambian people. Anything less would mean you are aligning and maligning yourself with them. And the kind of fraud we look at the Gambia the Inspector General would probe into. The IGs conduct a wide range of investigation related to waste, fraud, and abuse. And some of those are, and some of them are contract fraud. Contract fraud, like somebody falsifying information on contract proposal. We can see billing more than one contract for the same work. And we can see billing for expenses not incurred as part of the contract. Substituting approved material with unauthorized product. So all of this, the Gambia Police Force can go after such people to try to investigate them through contract fraud. So again, another type of fraud that we can go after as an Inspector General of Police is grant fraud. The grant fraud can be falsifying information in award application or progress report. So maybe that would affect your in-law, in fact, because he went to some country over there, say he got some award being the most peaceful person. We don't see any peace in that. Gambia is in shambles. There is no peace in Gambia when people are dying and being hungry. So people who falsify award application or progress report, that is a grand fraud as well. Misrepresenting facts about qualification, personnel, facilities or budget. We have seen numerous people, even in Adama Barrow's government. Demba Sabali is an LPN, licensed practical nurse in America here. That Demba Sabali, licensed practical nurse is not a complete nurse, but it's a dispenser. That person being a dispenser, like in the Gambia, if you want to relate it to the Gambia, it's a dispenser. That person is even under the nurse. He is supervised by the nurse and also a licensed doctor to tell him to give medication to a certain patient here and there. That's the person I heard went to Gambia, falsify all of his resume, CV, and said that he is a doctor. Such people need to be prosecuted because they falsified their document, say that they are something that they are not. You know? So the Gambia Police Force should as well go after the Jonga family, the Jem family who has falsified a bank statement of Brikama, of a certain bank, trust bank, and made it look like it was a bank statement authorized by that bank when they stole millions and millions of money from there, while the council is not even aware of it. Those are the grand fraud that the police need to go after. And that case is still pending. So Mr. Seedy Touray can go after those cases. It's a grand fraud and larceny and embezzlement of state resources. In this case, local authority councils' money. Because they have misrepresented the budget. They went around, the other family member went around collecting rent duties from women, hard-working women who cannot even have daily fish money. Collect those monies from them, and he is not an employee of Brikama Area Council. Go and give it to his family member there. They go put it into their personal bank accounts and their personal use. That is grand fraud. And all those things need to be investigated. And we should not put politics on the side of any of this, for crying out loud. Because make no mistake, at the end of the day, when we do, that is what is setting bad precedent for the country, and we are set for failure. Falsifying data or results relating to a research project. Just like so many other things, like in the case of Modu Jonga and Jeng family, who falsify a document of a bank, misrepresenting the whole entire council. Well, that is a crime. Employee misconduct also. investigate allocations of misuse of information technology equipment, and also ethical violations such as financial conflict of interest or use of public office for private gain. All of this, there are so many things that are pending, and we want sanity to come back to the Gambia police force. And again, unauthorized expenditure or improper request by supervisors. Your in-law, Mr. Adama Barrow, can request money from a certain institution that he is not supposed to have. That is, by nature, would prompt you to look into that and probe into that. Why are they doing that? So no government authority needs to take money or request money from a certain area council or a central bank of the Gambia, which is not allocated to them, but they still want to use those money to misappropriate it. That is what we want you to stop in this new position of yours, Mr. Seedy Touray. Go after all of these people. Those people who break the rule and processes, go after them regardless of even if that person, like I said, is your in-law. Do not care. Just follow the rule and the law. Financial fraud. We have tons of those. I mentioned two. The third one was Senator Martin at KMC, who stole millions of money and put it into buying lands without council members being aware of the use and purpose of that. So therefore, Senator Martin is equally corrupt to the core, but your in-law, Mr. Adama Barrow, is maintaining her as a finance director again. Those are the dirty people in our system that needs to be clean of infestation of a maggoted, stinking body. Those are people that needs to be X out of the sequence of events. In financial fraud, investigate multi-million-dollar bank fraud scheme targeting victims nationwide. How many scamming do we have in our country? People are scamming people on a daily basis. They mutilated billions and billions of money that had been mutilated and taken to Central Bank of the Gambia. How is the nature and manner of that investigation? Gambian people need to know. Because under Ablaye Sanyang, everything was hidden. Nothing was uncovered. And Gambian people do not know what the results of certain investigations are. And it would be your responsibility as the Inspector General of Police to probe into all this malpractice, embezzlement, misappropriation of state fund. If you do your job and complete it, the Gambian people know about it. The Gambian people will credit you for what you have done good. The rest is left to the state to implement and make sure that they prosecute them. But if you probe into matters, you just leave them as it is, the Gambian people will keep on doubting and doubting. And the more people doubt, that reduce trust and confidence of them on their institutions. In this case, the Gambia Police Force. Disallowing unsupported and questionable expenses charged by grantees. Case related to wire fraud, identity theft, and COVID-19 relief fund. The Minister of Health in the passing of Samad. Those things need to be probed into to make sure that they are prosecuted because they violated the rule, embezzlement of state resources when the whole world was going into crisis. The money should have been given to people who needed it most, but they share it among themselves. How far is that case gone? This investigation helped prevent, detect, and address fraudulent activities ensuring accountability and transparency in government programs and operations. These are things that we do. At the end of the day, make no mistake. And again, employee misconduct investigation. That by and large, we want you to change the Gambia Police Force for that. Because a lot of Gambia Police Force personnel are either not trained so well, or they don't know the job, or maybe the selection process need to be changed, or they are doing things with impunity because if they know they do something bad, they are promoted for human rights violations, to go and beat more people and tear gas them, most importantly, the opposition. That is what Ablaye Sanyang has been promoting in that country. With your comment, my brother Seedy Touray, we want you to make sure that you do an independent investigation into staff misconduct, following a thorough and well-documented process. It's very crucial to make sure that anytime a staff member violated the citizen of the country, regardless of your position or the Gambia Police Force reputation would be in question, the right thing to do is to just investigate the matter, probe into the matter, and make sure that that person is punished and establish fairness and the habeas corpus, speedy trial to happen in that. Because make no mistake, the only thing that makes you people different from us is just the uniform. So, in staff misconduct, investigate with purpose. A lot of staff members at the Gambia Police Force are violating and abusing their offices and their uniform. Before taking any action, consider the purpose of each step in the investigation. Ask yourself, will this action help reveal the truth? Will it lead to a strong resolution? Can you defend it in court if challenged? Or well documented of the action and future investigation? We want you to respond quickly, but be prepared. We expect everybody in uniform should know the law, the basic law of our country. A prompt response would show seriousness and prevent retaliation. Be prepared with a plan, resource, and understanding of the allegation that people say about you. And the Gambian people allege that police are beating, they are beaters. They beat people. So is that what you want to stick into the hearts and minds of the Gambian people, that the police have lost their credibility to protect, prevent, deter crimes, and protect our lives and property? But instead they are now beating us, violating the fundamental rule of law and value system in our country. We have to create an investigation plan, define the scope and objective and the timeline of that investigation. But some investigations would go for eternity, nobody would know anything about them. That's not correct. We have more manpower resources at the Gambia Police Force. If you think you are such staff, hire more people, bring more people into such department to make sure that cases go the way they need to go. There shouldn't be backlog of cases. That's how very functioning institutions would work in our country. Identify key witnesses. Evidence-based and interview strategies can also help enhance the speed of cases that you want to try. In the meantime, if somebody violates a citizen's right, take an interim action. That interim action, if necessary, take temporary measures, example, suspension to protect parties involved and prevent further harm. A police can be suspended of their job And if they are suspended, you should come back to the media and tell the whole Gambia that this person did this thing, so place and time, but this is what we have done. The Gambian people would begin to regain their trust in you as the police force. But when things are happen, you want to do everything behind the scene, and the population are in darkness. They don't know whether somebody who has been violated has been punished, even though if you have done it behind the scene, no one can credit you for something that they don't know about. So my brother, Inspector General of Police, Seedy Touray, these are a daunting task ahead of you when maybe, probably, just maybe, half of the population are thinking that, this man being the new Inspector General of Police is having the sister of the president. You can prove every one of us wrong by being fair, by being very strict, and perform the duties without being told that, hey, Seedy, go and do this thing. You should just do your job because your job description is well defined. I have told you so many things that when embezzlement and wire fraud and financial fraud and all these things, mismanagement happen, it says the police need to investigate into that. You don't wait the president to tell you that go do your job. So failure to do it, don't look at the ripple effect of what that investigation would lead into. Just do your job. If wherever your job ends that day, then so be it. You are a young, energetic, smart, intelligent, and ambitious young man. So we expect you to play fair play in this whole position of the Inspector General of Police. Be fair among all Gambians, regardless of whether it is the president, the opposition, but every Gambian, we are all under the law. Anything that would not promote the peace, tranquility, and the well-being of Gambia, don't let anybody have you do that. Mr. Seedy Touray, my brother, you know all what I'm saying. I'm speaking it from the bottom of my heart. Nobody would admire or like you more than I do, because a lot of water has passed under the bridges between you and me. Protect the complainant and the accused person. Ensure confidentiality and support for both parties. Avoid retaliation against the complainant or accused. Document everything. Maintain detailed record of interviews, evidence, and action taken. And make no mistake, let the media know about it. That will make you be more likable, because we want a transparent police force. We don't want a dubious police force who would hide information from the citizens. We want to know everything. So, the way and manner the Gambia police force used to be run, we want you to change the dynamic of that. Because you know what, you can do it. If you were able to help reshape the Liberian police of immigration to be a functioning and well-respected immigration in the whole world now. You came to the Gambia immigration, you did a good job there, and now you are the IGP. We expect that you are a result-driven Inspector General of Police. Because number one, you have the energy, you smart, you young, and you do not take bullshit, no from people. So this police command that has been all corrupt, all of them are corrupt. The Gambia police force. So now you are there, that's why they are frowning their faces. Because there is too much infight in the Gambia police force. Some of them have outlived their usefulness. If they are a battery, they cannot even make a signal. They are useless. They need to go out. So now you come, they are all frowning their faces. Like I said, maintain your discipline, your neutrality, your boldness, and your tactfulness. They either work with you or they go out of the way and retire peacefully. We need a better police force in our country. Anything less meaning we are doing wrong against nature, we are doing disservice to our country, and we are bringing the reputation of our police force into disrepute and question. And again, get external help if you need in certain circumstances. There are so many people who are dying in our country. If you need post-mortem taken on them like this national, foreign national, the UK national, the Americans who are dying in that country, we need a proper autopsy to establish and find out the death, the cause of death of those people. If you cannot do it, reach out to the embassies of the Gambia, the American embassy, the British embassy, all the other embassies to help you establish that, to make sure that you establish the cause of death for them. Remember, in America, some of all the people who are here can be organ donors. So if they die, they got dumped into some other places, it means that their organ can be useful to save some other's life. So we need the body of such individual preserved to be able to take some of, maybe whether their liver, their lungs, or their heart. You know? So if you need external help, consider doing that and involving legal counsel or external investigation for complex cases, so that all these bad things that are very foreign to the Gambia, and now they are becoming a new form of way of livelihood in our country, can be mapped out. Because remember, with the advent of all these 3 tonnage of drugs here and there, 2 tons of drug, thousands and thousands block of cocaine, hearts, you know, methamphetamine, and all kinds of drug in our country. Make no mistake, all of this will bring problem into the country because the youth of the Gambia are so depressed and hopeless because they think they do not have job. The only thing they could do is to go and kill themselves in the sea, or to try to sniff this drug and kill themselves slowly but painful death in our country. Are we going to continue to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over since 1965, and it is not working? We want to go with the same flow. That is no development. We have so many young and intelligent people in the police force. Let us give positions to people who deserve it. Let us give value to people who have integrity, impeccable ethical consideration in our institution. Let us give them positions. But those dubious and corrupt officers, they can still be there, be Lance Corporal for 50 years. Because you do not want to change, nobody will promote you. Because some of these people are an embarrassment in our forces. No one can save them. The only savior to do for them is to, dismiss them, to go home and try to go on farming. Because at the end of the day, the longer they continue to live in your institution, they put it in disrepute. The society would frown their faces at your institution. Is that what we're going to continue doing? So again, in the case of America, you communicate well. Like I said, you have to come out to the media, talk. If you cannot talk, use your PRO to come and inform the Gambian people with an well-intended document information that is devoid of lies, deceit, but just the truth. All the parties need to be informed about all of the things, these things. Access credibility, evaluate witness credibility, consistency, and reliability of all the things that we are investigating. And by no mistake, avoid bias. We always have to avoid bias in whatever we do. And for an Inspector General of Police, this is an integral part of your life. Remain impartial throughout the investigation. Base conclusions on evidence not assumptions. Just like us, the public, many people are assuming that, oh, Seedy Touray is an in-law to Mr. Adama Barrow, so therefore anything that comes, he would side with the family member than the Gambia. Is this true? Probably so. But it's an assumption. Because we think that blood is thicker than water. If something happened, you're going to side with Mr. Adama Barrow instead of defend the rights and liberties of Gambia. But hey, make no mistake. You can prove us wrong. You can prove every Gambian wrong to say that family ties would not matter to me when the reputation of the Gambia and the integrity, the territorial integrity of the Gambia is at stake. When that happens, you will be hailed as the most important and most decisive young Inspector General of Police the Gambia has ever had. Remember, a well-executed employee misconduct investigation helped maintain a safe, fair, and productive work environment while preventing future incidents. So, on that note, my brother, like I had also advised by Mboob, as the new Inspector General, Immigration Director General, I had to come and say this to my most likable brother, which is Seedy Touray. Because make no mistake, the truth is what matters. The truth lasts, and the truth shall make us free. Mbadin Gambian Kulu, India mo benata nyadi wala mo, coming wati jama nim yem director tombong, Gambia Bangkokang, Sakorin kontela fananga doku ke dame minketa Gambia Immigration Department, director natanke safele personally, wala tenga audio bule, purunga dia muye kaya maro dilan tol fanaya mira minse Gambia nyin samba no nyato ayo institution no nyin samba nyato. Andum ibukan na dende ya jube eke lamoyle eka afonye ko hanebi ya bete ata baonka kuma kangol mimfoye ya mira ko modol nenete wo fonole. Bao mantara place nyeningola na kuma kangol nyul mil be mba fokan ne puru nse Gambia kendo soto no nyamin Gambia miya lonko mo be se baluno luwa koto horomo kono animbunya wala ya kendi damambe di amuka nyenkuol. But at the end of the day, nga date ka min tentu ka jay wala keta by Ebrima Mboob as the new youngest Director General of Gambia Immigration Department, because Ebrima Mboob nintenga do kuoke bake nyola in Gambia Immigration, especially in administration. Mole mati miya lonka ala do kuono back. Mole mate miya lonko a kuluta ay bunya soto ay horomo soto a daji kata andunga ya londo nyimfanan soto. Mole miya lonko ay so many international missionoleke. Wo experience, wo expertise aninga hamwana ke ku kendo aning do ku kendo nyi aba kunyin kono. So, ngamin for water, Mr. Adama Barrow could not have made any better appointment than that one ay minke. Wol nyangol siata je bar fanan Gambia Immigration Department kono. Bay nyangol siata je bar bayle harjeta ay wo palaso nyin soro. Barina yamar lokata bay kam minna walam nyentiko. Asa hakilo tu bake. Bawo watemu dindingolete nyem palaso nyin nga jiki ko abe falindir kela je Seedy danta dami nga tebe kukela mintambita Seedy tate in a very good way. Bari fanande asa kata komi o yamar kilingo o yamar kilin ka mindi o do la mil tambitano like Fabure nyol, like Tamsir Jase nyol, like Jobate nyol, like Atone Njai nyol, like Mboob nyol, like Sakodrame nyol, Mboob Jinio fanang, Ababakar Mboob, ani yena buba sanyan nyol soto zel, ani ye Seedy Touray fang soto, anin sanyim bay Mboob atelebe wo palaso nyendo. asa lonko nye manke Mboob kundati de ate kela fati kundati sako baro kunda anda ate kela kamara kundati nyel dulal mu Gambia institutional te niya jube fanka wandole fanam famu katuko ibaje la ko nyin directol milbe nata hane ni lafta ke jeke kundati ala fangote sonno la katu ila sanjo ta nono la wala ten ala se niota so nin ko be o lari wo nyama ite mari min nata e palaso nyi mara bibila hakil tuba ise hakilo to kaje ko mu jamal nata tambita yo palaso nyimbol palaso nyimbe tano la nyadi le Gambia tano nyato wala nafati nafabe keno la nyadi le wala nyinti ko e doku ke Gambia dingoli yela doku lal be kanyandi ye Immigration Act, Immigration Rule, General Order, and in Civil Service Code of Conduct. Ye wo jube as your guiding principle. Wole banku kendol samba, wole dula kendolu tamandi, and dung we expect nothing less puru nyen dula to pura itano nyado. Bari, nata fanang ngang kotoma nyin konton koten Seedy Touray bao, the same thing na be doku kenyola. Kabirabe passport office, abe refugee office, and all that for say nata promote ka samba Inspector General of Police. Na ya marlo anin na kadinda be kelabul ku dantanet. Bawo nga lonne, atemu outsider from the police. But Seedy, ay karonke in Nigeria and paramilitary kuola din police do kuolo ayo karan. Ay karango nyimfananke ku jamal lella Seedy nyollel keta moti milia lonko ye Liberian immigration reshape biri bota wo kelo kono ka make so ko weke standard immigration. So oto immigration na doku atea no le fa danta bulo kono aya no bakele ko dindingole mati a hamo warata more energy soto kanyin doku wolke. Bare bi ni nataka ke Inspector General of Police o Inspector General of Police o mu place kuma palati wolem the biggest position de mi alon ko isadi la bawo isembo warata bakele se president fon arrest no le na ku masilande ngoke la fita Seedy Touray ala londo ala dindi ya be nyami aya kata ay Gambia dingol be kanyande aya kata ay mbeke multi-million lonko na nyin Gambia puru falindiro se keno falingo mi ya lonko abe Gambia sambalanya ay police force nyin aya faling bute rolu tonye rolu lipa rolu anin kujawol corruption o min bebe Gambia police force kon puru hasa falin no nyadi anyanta ka jube birawe palaso nyentala ay kalile ka tandiko I will abe palaso nyin sambala kulo kono tilingo kono aning aba make so lai mo be kanyandi bankoka woto amanyanka jube nto lamira roto na yamar lobe dilala ko Gambia dingol la assumption o mimma ka foko ibitan nem adama baroti nko ayakata en tolbe malunde banka jeko ning ayo palaso nyemmara hana bitaye kuo nyinke anyanta kelale to the favor of the Gambia as a country for wale ba fonde la musola fonala muso ma kanuku baket bare nala muso ya kanuku bake puro ate lo ay tonya sabati ne banko ka waya kendi akotoma la fika fa ay muso busabu ate kenola tonya wala mu baluoti tonya wala mu dinoti tonya ni lokuta kai kafo bake wala mu kuti miya lonko ete mari alal fonke itanka wodulado oto na expectation bale be Seedy kan police mol milia lonko ibe kamfaren ka fako Seedy mambo jantende ndolko ni kamfata ni yo kamfa yem among akuomandie pour Seedy na haje because alto la police force ning a be corruptale mo corrupting on lebe farinji mo kende dantan nel be police ol kon so wo corruption on yin lafita Seedy ya nyalo wole kanga e wo ko yin dafa regardless of all corruption o ya be bitan na mamin keta adama baroti faye mo le ma bare police inspector general la doku ay responsibility le soto bankoka ka tilim mo be tema ka make so ko luwa e tama ala molu miliba koto ibe luwa tamandila au luwa nying aitani silola investigation ol be larim banko kan miliya lonko e nyanta ka molu kitinde bari hani bi hani sama e bebi nyin drogol mil be dunta banko kan tol ko Seedy ko aye a hakilo to baake bang nyin drogol mil be dunta banko ka wole a kende fitino be banko kan mol be fala suta tili luwo lo mo banko de mo bebe silande la fita la police operational aye warande ka jube ko safety ay taranna bankoka corruption and fraud and traffic fraud ka kodo ta molbul aya kata ay kuluruba la police officer laka anen mol melia lon ko katula mol bute la doron ebe tia gas lanko e ka Gambia dingol lel tia gas regardless of ebe political party mindo because make no mistake it is a fundamental right ka je coming ko oppositional wol yettara nyem banko kam because oppositional fana mun Gambia dingol lel la fita Seedy ala palaso tamande telingo kono tilengo mi ya lonko ate banku den lanjurla ate molu divide la because Gambia divide ta bakele thanks to Mr. Adama Barrow ala kuolu kabirana ata nyen sanje seyol ko so puru Seedy na ay palaso nyengta ay Gambia dingol trust nyen warande jiko warande police force la wala mdoku kendo wala nyanta kake kaje ko ninku keta wate kulur la police kan Seedy na la molu na fa man fonti na ngaye fonti ala asafa la PRO officier ye fonti e Gambia dingol kibari ka tande ko ye nyin kulur le la police karika wote fenkela la police force la fona ya la darajo nyi warande la fita banko mi alon ko mo be se taraje mi alon at the end of the day ni luati nya luwa itamika pare ni man luwa nya luwa manyanke deprive e la basic rights la ntol la fita wo tilimbalia nyi wole bo Gambia bankoka and we hope na brother Seedy Touray namam falling coming lon nyamim I only hope ndebukan Dakar kulan de mombe jambe nyenku kendol fokan at the end of the day mena sila nen kuol keta mi alon ko ku maslandenka we hope ku maslandenka nake but na keta we will come and talk about it because nga miracle e ka woku maslandengo ke molu mella ol fane ballel soto e fal soto e bota korrallel kon how would you feel ni ake bare musol la wala ni ake la musol so la fita banko la mi alonko mo be se balonoje la fita banko la mi alonko telingo ka luwa bunya wo itaraje anon telingo nyin abe keno la nyaadile Inspector General of Police wala follow nyanta ka telinga follow falling a follow ke mo exemplary ngoti a ke mo wasari ngoti mo ti mi alonko akana femma mi alonko amanka atade na oke amo ala milbal koto aba ibe fenkela ngo ni keta mo telende ngote Inspector General of Police telende ise kele nyaawo nyete bono la odulato because make no mistake at the end of the day nyeng institutional bejele mo jamal lel tata inata fo ifele ite be palaso nyendo mbe duale alama ala palaso nyin sumoyandie andung fanambe nyalo kanje bakede kaje kuo kubekela je na kende maketa mbe jayila na masilande un ketambe funtila na nga foyo ka mambete anyanta ka keten at the end of the day Gambia nol sula ta nyinela bari la fite buranyin droxol noma la fite bulanyin National Assembly member la recommendation e ko police ta kuol min noma pour ka jube jamal le corruption o ke kodol sendina hani bi mam fem moy je la fite o ke baro lon 3 tons of drug 2 tons of drug manki bar soto je la fita ka wollong cases ol mil bebe police kono nko dunge cases ol be noma ya jube ko nyin cases olu ibe speedy la nyaming ye boje katun there are some people million they have been falsely imprisoned wol be dulalto dol bije they have been falsely accused wala cases ol fana nyanta ka jubele ka jube ko wol fana nyanto le soto nyem banko ka but make no mistake at the end of the day tonya te mu tonya doronet tonya mu tonya doronet so mbe tendula mbe jayila mbe Gambia dingol tendula mbe jayila Gambia mun tallalti police ol mel beka mol bute o bute ro sede lafite e o bonde police department okon molu jututa police la so much so that confidence mantaraje lafite confidence resto Gambia police department okay ba corrupt ringol mil baby e buka kabo ablay sanyan na mili alon ko e buka procurement processes all respect e la kuol ke in fact I am so shocked aje komen ko yetol promote kake interior minister because ablay sanyan was very corrupt and among loyal respect. So what is more different from ablay sanyan than the ordinary Gambian minkata through the right procurement processes? So wallam kumakanti lafita futala nan jankan nanyen two brothers all welcome ka foye ko wal b altol lebe palasol nyinto maybe kunung alka complain alla nyaton ko lako ay nyanta ka keten ne nyanta ka keten b altol lebe je so b biringal beje albaka la nyadil o opportunity fele ya dial mbal remember la kuma fuku fulalla aliye muneke jang aku kendo wala aliye muneke jang ku jawo an hadamaden kendo hadamaden kende ni be mirala nyanta ke mira ku kendo la bari ni ku jawo keje hani mama ringole tulumutol be e benale se kungo jeme. What is word for that? Ala baraka bake and sa ABCC United States of America.